morning. Welcome everybody. We are going to be getting started here. As you're getting settled, please look at the board for some bell work. There are some sticky notes and pens on your tables for you to get started with. Please write your answer and then you can come up and stick it on the bell work page up here. So as people are coming in, getting situated, I would be around just reminding, greeting for people to get their bell work up. What are some ways that you have or have seen successful student engagement or behavior systems in the classroom, keeping people on track? And then I would ask for 5 after everyone is here and settled down. So I would give me 5, get everyone's attention. Last reminder, last call for people to come put up some bell work. All right, today we are going to get started. Our agenda is some objectives and norms for our time together, team and class building, so we can get to know our classmates, our teammates, our peers. We're going to go over some of the behavior handbook, we're going to go over some rewards and expectations, and then we're going to finally get into some class management and engagement and the benefits of it. So all that, and we will include some planning during this time. To get started, some objectives for the day, student engagement techniques, behavior expectations at Polk City, rewards and consequences school-wide and in the classroom. We will be hitting on all of that through the different parts of our agenda. Excuse me. During today's professional development, I would appreciate it if everyone could use the parking lot for questions. I'll get to that in just a moment. Respect others speaking and sharing and be present. Please try to set aside the computers, the cell phones, and be present with the people that you are working with today. Show them respect, be kind, help them out when they need help. And what I mean by the parking lot is if you have a question, comment that either it's not a good time to ask, you're confused about something that you just maybe don't want to share out loud in the time, in the moment, go ahead and fill out one of those sticky notes, jot down your thought, your question, your statement, and I'm going to put the parking lot over here, actually over here, so that way you can share anything or ask anything that you may need that you don't feel comfortable getting up for. Okay. Alrighty. To get started here, I know we've just come back from a really long break. Some faces might be new. We're going to get to do some activities, some movement, and engaging you guys. Alright, to get started, we are going to do a class building, and this is where we're going to get to know one another. Okay? We are going to do a mixed pair share. And to do a mixed pair share, everyone just stay seated. Let me explain it first, and then we will get started. In a mixed pair share, everyone stands up. You spend some time mingling around the room, walking around the room, and after a certain amount of time, maybe after the music stops playing, you put your hand up, high five the next person you pair up, and that is your pair. At the end, if there's any stragglers, your person that was closest to you had someone else closest to you, then we'll find you a partner. Okay? All right. So let's go ahead and do that part. Let's do the mixing and pairing part. So let me make sure that's still recording. Okay. All right. So everyone go ahead, stand up, take some time, mingle, and then I'm going to mingle. I'm going to encourage people to maybe move a little bit more. Try to end up next to someone you weren't sitting with initially this morning? Right, go ahead, everybody freeze, hand up, pair up, go high five the person that's closest to you. All right, looking good. Alrighty. Are there any other people that are still looking for a partner? Okay, go ahead and put your hand up, put your hands up, find each other. Alrighty, everyone has a partner. Alright, here's the sharing part. I'm going to provide you with a question, some think time, then you'll get to answer your question. So to get started, let me show you first. So-and-so, will you be my partner? Okay. Our question is, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? I'm going to give you some think time. How about everybody think? What would your superpower be? Take about 10 more seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, great. So here's partner A and B. Let's pretend I'm the taller person. All right, I'm going to go first. My superpower would be to teleport or to fly so that I don't have to drive anywhere. All right. And then partner B would share. And then once you're ready and good to go ahead and put your hand up so that I know you're ready to go. All right. Go ahead and share. During this time, I would be walking around listening to other people share, hearing what their superpowers would be and how cool it sounds. All right, everybody give me 5. Thank you to those who had their hand up, ready to go, showing me that they're ready for the next step. All right, go ahead, everyone mix again. Try to end up by someone who you haven't sat with yet today, you haven't talked to yet today. All right, take another 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Freeze. All right, our next question, go ahead and take some think time. What was your favorite activity that you did over break? Go ahead and take about 10 seconds to think about what was your favorite thing to do. All righty. The person wearing the brightest colors is going to go first in this round, right? Go ahead and start sharing. Go ahead, mingle. All right, looks like everybody is ready to come back. Give me 5, please. All right. Go ahead and mix again. You guys are doing great. I'm hearing some awesome conversations. Everybody's mixing. All righty. Now, your next question is, what are you looking forward to the second half of the year? Go ahead and take about 10 seconds to think about what are you looking forward to most? Alrighty, go ahead and now that you've hand up, paired up, go ahead and share with your partner. Wonderful. Again, hearing some really good things as I'm mingling around and walking around, observing. Right. Okay. Now that you're finished, go ahead and give me 5. Right. I want you and your partner to put your hand up, high five the closest partner pair next to you, so that you are now a group of 4. Are there any other people who need groups? Oh, this group and this group, you guys are going to be a pair. Wonderful. All right, go ahead and go. You are now going to be a team, okay? So go ahead, let's just count off by table number or table letters. Let's have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Go ahead and go collect your belongings and head to one of those tables. If the teachers will need a moment to get to their table. They're gathering their things. They're working with people that they don't typically work with. Alrighty. Now, since we are working with people that aren't a part of our grade level team, maybe aren't a part of our direct support staff that we work with closely every day. Let's do a little bit of getting to know each other and team building. These are the people that you're going to be working with throughout the duration of this PD. So let's get to know them. We're going to use what's called a single round robin. You don't have to stand up yet, but everyone will stand up. Everyone is going to share or answer the questions. Once you've shared, you can sit down. So out of 4 people, number 1 will sit down, then 2, then 3, then 4 after sharing. That'll be my visual to tell me that you're ready to move on. Okay, so go ahead, everybody stand up. Person 1, go ahead and take some think time. Your name, your grade level, your years of experience, and your favorite snack. You might need some think time on that favorite snack part. Right? Everyone's got it? All right. Looking at your table mat, you're going to see where you're sitting based on 1, 2, 3, or 4. Go ahead and number 1, start us off. During this time, while they are sharing, I would be walking around listening to what they have to say. I see everyone sits down. I know it's time to move on. All right, a little bit of purpose behind today's professional development is our school improvement plan. It is our 4th goal out of the 5 that we have, and it's to effectively implement behavior expectations and strategies to increase positive student behavior. We all have those kids, or have had those kids who you just cannot get bought into, like the routines, the expectations, the rules. They're getting referrals, and our goal today is to understand what our rules are, understand what you could use as rewards and consequences, and hopefully learn some new strategies that build on what you're doing in class for engagement. All right, so let's go over some bell work. Let's just kind of share out. The question was, what are some ways that you have implemented, seen strategies that work in the classroom that go with behavior management or engagement? So we'll share out a few of those, and we'll hopefully tie those into today's discussions. All right, so we're going to be learning about those ways to enhance behavior expectations and classroom engagement. All right, everybody on your table, you should already have in that pile there in the center, you will have a Polk City Elementary Behavior Handbook. And in this handbook, there's so much information. This is like your behavior Bible, whatever you want to call it. All right, so just to get started, I want you to flip to page 2 and 3. This is kind of just the overview of what our mission, vision. I know we've already gone over that, but I want to go over it just real quick. The purpose mainly the purpose. I want you to go ahead and just jump down to what is the purpose, right? And I have a volunteer to read. Volunteer, raise our hand. To reduce undesirable behavior and teach alternative skills, the focus is that behavior is the problem, not the student. Therefore, we need to work to change that behavior. Thank you, so-and-so. All right. So this is something I just want to give you a little bit of time to read through and get the background knowledge for yourself, but I really wanted to hit that purpose to kind of set the basis of our conversations today. Right? Take about 4 minutes to read through these 2 pages, and then we'll come together. So I would set a timer for about 4 minutes. I'd be walking around, not peering over anyone's shoulders, because this is kind of independent work. All right, here what we're getting into the meat of our behavior handbook. Here's what we're going to do. I know it's a lengthy document that could be boring to read if you were going to sit down and read it all in one sitting. But today we're going to break it apart. You're going to do some teaching with your group. You're going to have a better understanding of what this handbook looks like and sounds like. Here's what we're going to do. Each person at the table is going to be responsible for a certain section of the handbook. Okay? I have it up here as ones are going to read pages 5 and 6, twos are going to read page 7 and 10, threes are going to read page 11 and 12, and fours are going to read 13 and 14. Right? While you're reading, go ahead and pick up one of those highlighters that are at your table, and you are going to highlight key important information. Okay? Excuse me. While you're highlighting key and important information, you are going to think about, well, you're going to read it, you're going to highlight it. Once you've finished reading, start thinking about how are those the most important topics that you've highlighted? Why are those important? Because those are what you're going to share in the next activity. Okay? So highlight what you think and know is important. I would set the timer for approximately 10 to 12 minutes to give people enough time to read. Some pages are a little bit longer than others. I would probably encourage people to go back, well, I did kind of encourage people to go on and read the next sections. Okay. Go ahead and give me 5. I know some people finished a little bit early. Some people were able to move on to other sections and just kind of pre-read before having a discussion. Thank you. All right. We are going to do a timetable share, okay? You are going to teach your section of the handbook to your team, okay? What this looks like is you guys are all going to get a set amount of time. You're going to get approximately 2 minutes each. And if I have some extra time built in so that if you don't finish, we can go back and add some time. All right, so, goodness. Each person will have 3 minutes to discuss their key points. If your teammate is having trouble filling their time, or just doesn't know what to say, help them out. Ask questions. Take your experience and your knowledge of the topic to help out, because all of you have seen the behavior handbook before. When the timer sounds, the next person to the left will go. And we will do a 5th rotation so that you have some time to ask questions and offer some clarifications to your teammate, or if you need just extra time. If your whole table has a question, fill out a sticky note for the parking lot that we can address. Okay? If you need a reminder of your steps, they are on the board, or you can raise your hand. We'll come over, I'll come over and help you. So go ahead, let's start with the number 1s because they have the beginning. Number 1s, please go ahead and stand up. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. If you finish before, remember, teammates, help them out, right? So I'm going to set the timer. Number 1s are going to stand. They're going to start talking. And as they're talking, they will just continue to help each other out. The people who are sitting are going to maybe be highlighting, taking notes, assisting in the conversation. They'll rotate every 2 to 3 minutes. And that will work out. All right, give me 5. Wow, I heard some great conversations, and a lot of people have been making some really good points along the way of the, handbook. You guys are doing fantastic, and I hope you have a better understanding in each team of what the handbook consists of. Oh my goodness, sorry, excuse me. All right. based on those sections of the handbook that you just read and taught each other, we are going to do what is called quiz, quiz, trade. So at your tables, excuse me, my nose is itchy. So sorry. All right, at your tables, you have a baggie of cards. And in those cards are questions that relate to what you just learned or taught about or read about. All of the above. All right, here's how it'll work. Go ahead and keep the cards in the bin for now. Everyone is going to stand up. You don't have to stand up yet. When you stand up, you are going to turn to your shoulder partner. That's the person sitting next to you. The mats on the tables do point to who your shoulder partner is. Partner A is going to ask partner B a question. Partner B is going to answer that question. If partner B is struggling to answer or gets it wrong, partner A is going to help them out. Okay, so what that would look like is I have my card. What are the 3 expectations? If my partner can't answer respectful, responsible, safe, I'd say, what does it mean to walk in the hallways? What does that fall under? Safety. Okay, maybe they were able to get respectful and responsible but needed help on that safety part. Help them through it. Don't, you can tell them the answer, but try to help them remember what the answer is. Okay? Remember, you can review the answer, re-ask that question, really solidify that, just like you would do with your students. Right? Then you will switch cards. So after you ask a question and each person has answered their questions, you switch cards. You're going to put your card up and you're going to go find someone else with their card up, okay? You'll do the same process. One partner will go first. You'll ask each other your questions. You'll answer each other's questions. You'll switch cards. Once you've been around to 4 people, you are going to head back to your seat. Okay? So go ahead, take out your cards, fan them out, pick one, and stand up. All right, partner A's, why don't you go ahead and start? Once again, on your mat, it'll tell you who your shoulder partner is and who partner A is. Wonderful. Go ahead and get started. Also, during this time, I'd be roaming, supporting as needed, reminding of directions, facilitating conversations if needed, just like I would do, or just like we also do in the classroom. All right, give me 5. Some of you are just finishing up. Thank you guys for doing that so well. Go ahead and have a seat at your table. Just a few areas I wanted to go over to reinforce are the threats of self-harm, violence, threats and suspicions, immediate assistance in the classroom for students, staff, and staff. In your handbook, there is a kind of like a flow chart, who you'll call, so on and so forth. Of course, I'm not going to flip right to it. Okay, it is on page 8. I think it's page 8. All right, it has the list there. Anything that is of urgency, you need to contact the office to get in contact with the principal and assistant principal. You need to immediately send an email and call the office. You are going to label it urgent. Please take some time to review these items. Please note also the call tree that you need to do on the bottom part of page 8. Go ahead and that's some of the background, but I want you to read it and highlight the key parts for you. I'd walk around, help them out. All right, and then bring everyone together. Okay, so just a few things. Once again, Please note the steps for reporting each of these. Right. On page 9, what is the difference between office managed and classroom managed behaviors? Pretty much your big hitters like drugs, weapons, elopements, threats, aggression. Those are certainly office managed, whereas in the classroom, those are for more of your minor behaviors. Okay. Immediate assistance in the classroom, think of referrals. That's referral worthy, whereas being in the classroom is like something that you manage in the classroom is classroom managed, minor, typically. Okay. All right, those are just a few key points I wanted to re-go over. All right, earning and monitoring points. This takes us to our second objective. This looks different sometimes for each and every classroom. All right, at our school, we all earn points or Bulldog Bucks. I think most people use the actual physical Bulldog Bucks, but I know maybe some of the older classes might use points. That is totally up to you. That is a choice you get to make in how your management system runs. Okay? Key parts here, and I know some of you have already read this and you've taught this already. I just want to reinforce it. All right, you get 5 per day when the students are in attendance. So everyone came to the PD today. I know you're at school, you're all getting 5 Bulldog Bucks. That might be how you run it in your classroom. There should be kind of like an over-rewarding, especially when you're reteaching, or rather at the beginning of the year, maybe when you're re-going over things after breaks. You're just rewarding, like, thank you for doing the right thing. Here are some Bulldog Bucks. Okay? All right, let me close the door. Okay. All right. Everyone can reward and fine students. You guys will receive copies of Bulldog Bucks for you to make and hand out. All staff gets to hand out Bulldog Bucks. We have 1s, 10s, and 5s to help with increments. Great. Rewards and fines. You can look into the handbook. Again, I know you've already looked at this just to reinforce. On page 13 and 14, there are rewards and fines, and this would be how many Bulldog Bucks you're paying students. That's how much it's worth. If they need to purchase something because they're not, for example, if they are not using appropriate language, you can find how much to fine the students. Now, this does not have to be set in stone, but this is a basis of what you can start with, okay? If you're noticing that you might have to increase those increments because you're having an issue with inappropriate language in your classroom, you might start with -$2, but you might increase it in the future. All right. Some people use points, others use little purses or wallets, envelopes to help track, and here's just some examples, okay, of what you could be doing in the classroom to support students buying things, purchasing things, earning things in the classroom. So for example, here's earnings, here's fines. These are the things that last year we didn't have a solid base with universally across from classroom to classroom. So that's why the points and dollar amounts might look a little bit different. These are things that students are earning in the classroom. These are fines, first offense, second offense, third offense. These do not go with. These are separate from the school-wide behaviors. So these are classroom. School-wide would be found on page 15. These are when the dates and the cost of what is being offered school-wide that students can purchase toward. Okay. Once again, just a few differences. The school, you have your monthly and quarterly rewards, such as monthly rewards, snow cones, popcorn, extra recess, and then our quarterly rewards, fall ball, school-wide center, spring fling. Those are our big events that we have each quarter. Those cost way more than the monthly rewards. And then classroom, these are specific to you, okay? Treasure box, snacks, classroom store, sitting next to a friend. That's something you can work out with your class. What do they want to earn? What do they want to do? Okay? Excuse me. All right, so I know that's been a lot of information between the handbook, rewards, and consequences. Here is what you're going to do. With your table group, you're going to brainstorm and plan a few things. The reason we're intermixed groups is so that we get some different ideas, rather than just always working with third grade teachers working together, second grade teachers. Now you got some special areas teachers, some first grade, primary, intermediate working through these, okay? These are just your own thoughts, ideas to get you started. I'm going to set the timer for 15 minutes for you guys to work on this, to collaborate. All right, I would set the timer, and as I'm going through, as the teachers are working, I'd be going through, working on engaging them in conversation, promoting them, thinking about different things, different rules, expectations, ways they're going to go about planning, engaging them, the students in their behavior expectations. What rewards that they have, monitoring and distributing Bulldog Bucks. Are they using Bulldog Bucks? How are they storing their Bulldog Bucks? How are they going to know what maybe classroom rewards they're going to have? So I'd be engaging in those conversations. All right, everyone, go ahead and give me 5. You guys had some really great conversations going on, and I'm loving that some of you were able to really bounce some ideas off of one another and get some ideas, new ideas that you didn't think of, different ways, hearing different ways that your teammates are doing things different or have done things different. Okay. So today we've done a lot of interacting with each other. There hasn't been a lot of parts of me standing up here talking. It's been you guys having discussions. And I just want to share some information about that, about what we've done today and what you could be doing in your classroom as well. So engagement makes a huge difference, okay? I went to a training over the summer, and this is where I got that data. It says that 60% of people lack communication skills in the workplace and interpersonal skills. People have the knowledge and the skills to perform tasks. However, they lack the appropriate behavior to interact. And that's one thing that we can work on here in your classroom. By increasing engagement, you are decreasing the number of referrals and behavior incidents that are happening in the classroom, at specials, in the cafeteria, on the bus. They're getting some of those needs through engagement, right? And if they're engaged, they don't have time to be messing around and doing the wrong thing. Engagement can increase learning gains, increase positive behavior, and reduce achievement gaps. You can go ahead and take a look more at this information. It is on the handout. It is front and back. It has some charts. It has some graphs, and it breaks it down a little bit further. I'm going to give you guys a moment or two to look over that data. Go ahead and take a minute. the bee walking around, whatever, and engaging. Oh my goodness. Alrighty. So some of the engagement structures that we've talked about today, starting from the very first activity we did, we got to know each other a little bit more. We got to kind of giggle and laugh a little bit with each other. And that is class building. That's when we stood up, we mixed around, and we paired up with some new people. We did team building. We met with the people and shared some information about ourselves at our team tables, okay? And and then academics. We all tackled that behavior handbook in a little bit of a different way. I didn't just read it to you. I didn't tell you to take it home and read. You read it as different parts as a team, and you taught each other a different way of engagement. It's important that when you're doing these forms of engagement and you're asking the students to share, you give them some think time. You don't want to say, hey, so-and-so, what color is the sky? And they don't get any time to think. You're just putting them on the spot. Give them some think time. Students have all day to take that test. They get their think time. Everyone deserves their think time. All right. At your table, I do have a short little guide of the engagement strategies we used today. Okay. One more thing, if you noticed while you guys were doing those things, I was up monitoring the room. I didn't go sit in the corner and say, all right, they're doing their thing, kick my feet up in there. No, you have to be engaged with the students as well. You have to be listening to them and monitoring what is happening. Right? The first thing we did today was a mixed pair share. We use this for class building, getting to know another, and it can be used for content questions. A simple list of steps is listed on that handout for you. The next thing we did is called a single round robin. That is also on your paper there. That is when we did our team building. Each of you stood up, you shared something about yourself, you went around the table just once, and that was the end of the round, or that was the end of it, okay? I will say, standing up increases oxygen to the brain, and we did a lot of standing, and I thank you guys so much for being willing and capable of doing that all today. Great. Next, we did a timed table share. Now, anytime you time something, you want to give equal time to each person. Okay? Let me just make sure this is recording. Okay. You want to make sure that each person is getting an equal amount of time to share. And at your tables, each one of you got the same amount of 2 minutes. And I did leave in some extra, build in an extra time for you to share anything extra you needed to if you didn't get to it or if you thought of it later. But each person got the same 2 or 3 minutes to share their section of the text. You don't want to say, oh, this person gets 1 minute, but you get 2 minutes. No, we want to make it fair, time it, build in that extra round for any further facilitate discussion. Okay? During that time, to help each other fill the time, you can be asking questions, encouraging the students to want their person to dig a little bit deeper, think a little bit further, okay? All right, and then one of the last things we did was a quiz trade. Quiz trade, we took those cards, you guys stood up, got moving again, and you asked each other questions. You quizzed each other to help each other really remember the information. Again, that information is provided on the worksheet, okay? If you have any questions, please feel free to ask or put it on the parking lot. I want to give you guys some time to plan. What are some different ways you are going to engage your students in the classroom to get them working together, to get them motivated. What are you going to do? All right, so go ahead, think of different ways that you can work together as a team, or have your kids work together as a team. What are some ways that you can have your kids working, getting to know each other? It is recommended that class building, like the mixed pressure we did today, just sharing a little bit about ourselves, happens once a week. The team building could happen twice a week. You really want your table teams to work well with each other. And classroom engagement, how are you going to make it work in your class? Go ahead and take about 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes to plan with your team on this one, okay? During their time of planning, I'm also up moving around. They can ask me questions, I can ask them questions. How are they going to do it in their classroom? Great, go ahead and give me 5, everyone. Thank you all for participating. You guys have been absolutely wonderful and willing to engage in some different things that you don't typically do during a PD. Thank you for that. All right, would anyone like to share what are some different structures, or not structures, but ways you're gonna engage? I want a couple people that want to share. Thank you guys so much for sharing. We have a few parking lot questions. Let me go ahead and go get those. And I'd go get those and come back and I'd answer anything that I need to do, and I would actually plan this a little bit while they're working. Okay, here's what we're doing, or here's what some people asked, here's what I was asked, and I just want to clarify with everybody. Any last minute thoughts, questions, ideas? I would have them do that. And then, if you guys could please take this survey, give me some feedback. What are your takeaways? Your 2 questions at the end. I have them written down. Here are your 2 questions. Thank you guys again for being so willing to participate. What are your takeaways from the handbook, and what 2 ideas would you implement in your classroom? And then people can scan that with their phones. And thank you guys all for participating, and don't forget to take your handbook and your handouts. Have a great day, night.